From what you see in practice and from what you've seen in the last two series, does it feel like this team is playing its best hockey at this point in the season?
Well, when you get through the first two series and you win, you feel like your team's playing very well. We're playing very well defensively. Obviously, from the goaltender out, Mike McKenna's had an excellent playoff so far. And if you look at the team mindset right now, it's defense first, and you have to have that mindset in the playoffs because it's just so tight. It's so hard to score goals. And if you look at our group, we seem to be getting better and better every game. So we're really looking forward to the first game here on Friday night.
Mike McKenna, just how has he turned it on in the playoffs? And obviously that's the key to a lot of success in playoff hockey, but what has he done specifically? Well,
if you look at Mike's past history, he's been on a lot of playoff teams, and he's really been a huge part of those teams. If you look at his second half of the season, he's had outstanding numbers along with Landon Bowe. But moving forward in the playoffs, Mike brings a calmness to our group. If you watch the TV timeouts during the periods, he comes back to the bench and he's just so relaxed. And I think our team has taken on his personality. We don't get flustered, we don't get rattled if we're down a goal. We just continue to play it, and that's kind of been a theme of our group all year. And I think it starts with our goaltenders. We have that resiliency. If you look at our group, I think that was our 34th overtime game of the season, including playoffs. So we manage adversity well, and I think Mike is a big part of that with his play. His numbers have been outstanding here in the playoffs. You look at the two goalies coming in this next series, Colin Delia, I think their numbers are pretty well right on the same. So it's going to be a goaltending battle, and hopefully Mike's experience will force him to be ahead of the Delia kid.
Does that allow you to be a little bit more aggressive, knowing that you have somebody back there that can handle it?
Well, there's times to be aggressive and times to not to be aggressive, but we're a team that wants to play fast. And if you look at Rockford, their team's got a lot of speed. They play fast. They pressure hard. They're a lot like Tucson. So I think it's going to be an outstanding series. I'm guessing it's going to go 6 or 7 games. Rockford hasn't been defeated in the playoffs yet. They've had a great playoff, and we're looking forward to the first game. And we saw them at the end of the year here twice, and I think they got 6 players down from Chicago. So they have a lot of NHL talent on the team, and it's going to be a great challenge for our group.
So many of these games could almost be coin flips. You've played a lot of overtime games. What does it mean to see a team that hasn't lost in the playoffs that you have to take on in this round?
Well, they've had a lot of things going for them. They're a very good team. They have a lot of depth. If you look at their power play, their numbers are outstanding. I think they're 38% on the power play. Glenn Denning and Franson, I think they've got 5 or 6 goals on the power play from the back end. So for us, we have to stay out of the box and we have to play a tight game. And they're playing tight 5-on-5. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a couple games with teams posting a shutout. But it's going to make for a great game. And for us, we have to stay out of the penalty box and keep their power play off the ice.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the contributions from your young folks and rookies like Gavin Bayreuther?
Well, you know what? Our young players, our bottom 6, our young defensemen have been outstanding all year. Gavin Bayreuther's taken a huge step from the start of the season. He's a top 2, top 4 defenseman in the American Hockey League right now. And if you look at our bottom 6 forwards, Marcuson, LaBerge, L'Esperance, Fight, and those guys have been outstanding all year. They've been the motor of our hockey club. When things aren't going well a lot of times. If you look at, I think Sam's got 1 OT winner. He's got an assist on Joel's clincher the other night. So it's important. You have to have bottom 6 guys, or you have to have guys in lesser roles be able to step up and give you that energy in your team. And those guys have done a great job. And we're going to need them moving forward.
Coach, how much do you lean on the 3 veterans here, McKenzie, Moran, and Dowling, who have been here before and won this thing before?
Well, yeah, it's a good point. I think the veterans bring a presence in the dressing room. They've been a part of, I think Mo's probably gone to 2 conference finals and a couple finals, so he's been a part of it. I think his demeanor, his experience, and just his presence in the dressing room will allow a lot of guys to reflect on him, just to chat with him, hey, what's it like getting to the next round, and what do we have to do this round? But Curtis McKenzie was a part of the championship team, and just Dustin Jelling, and we're looking forward to those guys, leading the way. If you look at that line right now, they haven't scored a lot 5-on-5 in the playoffs, but they scored a big goal the other night in the power play against Tucson, and so they seem to rise when they're most counted on, and we're expecting a big series here in the conference final.
This team have it, Coach, to win this whole thing? Do they have that it spirit to win it?
Well, I'll tell you after this round. I said we got to focus on Rockford. They're a very good hockey club. They were very. They're probably the best team down the stretch. That Central Division was a very strong. Manitoba, Grand Rapids, If you look at our stats over the year, we had a pretty good record against the Central Division. So hopefully that means good things for us moving forward in this conference final. But it's a lot of respect. We have a lot of respect for Rockford. They've had a great year. They've really found their game the second half, as we have. So I think it makes out for great entertainment for the fans to come out and see.
Well, actually won 7 playoff games, 6 different guys just scored the game-winning goal. What's that say about your team?
Well, depth and resiliency. I think any given time guys can score in our team. And if you look at our group, it's a thing we've done all year. We've been resilient, and that's a scary thing on a team, because you never know who's going to step up at any given time, who's going to make that big play. But you look at our goaltenders; like, they've had a great year. Both guys stepped up when called upon. When McKenna was up, Bosie played well. You look in the playoffs right now, I started Bosie one game, he faltered, Mike went in, had a 47 save performance in Ontario. It's a one big family, and playoffs are a funny thing. Usually you get by that first round, it's a little bit tough. Ontario was a tough opponent, and then Tucson, they're one of the best teams from start to finish in our division. We took them out in 5. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I know our guys are against Rockford, so anytime you're playing in the May and June, it's a good thing.